What's up, everybody? Eric from Evil Cheese here. I played every board game I could in 2025, and now, today, I'm grading all of them. Rapid fire, no mercy. Check out my rubric. We're doing A+, all the way down to F. I'm being as honest as I can. There's kids playing in the background. This is the only time I could do it. But without further ado, let's get it. And we're shuffling. Number uno is going to be Comic Book Hunters. This is a game I'm giving a C-. I played this a couple of times this year, and every time I played it, I started to like it less and less. I understand that it's fun to do all the different kinds of drafting. The look of the game is great with the actual comic book covers, with the dates and issues, editions, rarity, etc., etc. I just ultimately thought it was sort of an act of futility. I just didn't get a lot of fun out of it. I understand why people might like it, but for me, it just didn't work. So sorry, Comic Book Hunters fans, C-. Number two is going to be, so earlier this year, we did a sort of a best of the worst board games editions where we got a bunch of board games from a thrift store, and we randomly choose 3 of them. We learn them and play them all in the same day, and then sort of find out which one was the best and which one was the worst. This one was right in the middle. This is called 25 Outlaws. I give this one a C+. It's kind of a variation of poker, where it also tries to add like, hey, I'm the Wild West Outlaws. Just because you won don't mean you get to actually keep everything, so I can rob you and win and use special powers. In theory, it works pretty good. It wasn't a terrible game. The interesting thing about this game, though, was that it was the art came from Dave Matthews. And we were shocked to find in our actual video, check the link below, that it came from the real Dave Matthews of the Dave Matthews Band. And you know what? The game looks really, really good. So Dave Matthews, being a Renaissance man, 25 Outlaws. Number 3 is going to be, this is a good one, Kinfire Chronicles. Check out our review of that, the link below too. Scott Casey and I spent about 9 months and over 50 hours playing this whole thing. And essentially, as Scott put it, it's kind of D&D in a box. And he's absolutely right about that. You do a cool sort of character deck building progression sort of system. And it is all scenario based, and one scenario will build after the other. You'll get loot, you'll get experience, etc., etc. Then the thing I love most about this game was the bag mechanism that solved the problems that a lot of these sort of role-playing-ish D&D type games have of the initiative. It made it super easy, super simple. Kinfire Chronicles, I gave it A-. Beautiful, fantastic game. Probably don't need to play it ever again, but man, it was worth every minute. Number 4 is going to be Lord of the Rings Duel. This is basically after the system of Seven Wonders Duel, just with the Lord of the Rings sort of. It's a Lord of the Rings skin, but it does do a few different things. I gave this one a C+. I thought I would really be into this game, and for some reason, when I played it, it just didn't, the few times I played it, it just didn't grab me. It just didn't keep me wanting to come back, so I did end up getting rid of it. But I do love the Seven Wonders Duel system, and this one's neat. You got the ring wraiths. One side is evil, one side is good, and the ring wraiths are like trying to chase them. So if it catches up with Frodo and Sam, you could lose as the good side and win as the evil side that way. You could do the traditional Seven Wonders Duel way of getting various kinds of points, etc., etc. Art was great, everything was great. I don't know why. So C+. Castle Panic. This is a game I've played for a while now, and my son now, who is 9, is able to really play this game with me and play it well. That's why I get to A-, and it was rising. You know, it's been a while since I actually revisited and played this game seriously, and it's just watching him play it for the first time and us playing it with subsequent plays afterwards, and him just enjoying it more and more. It's just such a great tower defense co-op, to almost its essence. And if you're looking for that kind of game, I mean, this is definitely top tier. So Castle Panic, A-. Keep it up. Number 5 is going to be Harmonies. Harmonies. Casey and I did a review of Harmonies this year, and I gave it a C+. These kinds of games don't really grab me usually. Games like Century Spice Road or Splendor, Harmonies kind of put in that same category of, you know, you're getting things to then turn them back in for points, essentially. This one had a cool spatial terrain looking aspect, so I do like it more than those kinds of games. And I understand why it's kind of a classic too. But, you know, played it a couple of times. I don't really need to play it again. Gave it a C+, but I would play it if people were playing it. So, Harmonies, you're not bad. All right, next one is going to be Alien Fate of the Nostromo. Please check out this review below. I'm very, very proud of that review. It's the most cinematic board game review you've ever seen. But the game itself was good. I gave it a B. Is this a game I'm going to be playing all the time? Absolutely not. But maybe, you know, during a Halloween sort of time, or if another Alien franchise event is happening to kind of get you in the mood, this is a great one. Pretty by the numbers co-op game. Player takes a turn, evil alien takes a turn, player takes a turn, etc., etc. But it added some neat things, and one of the neat things this does add is that the end game, the goal, objective, is not always just going to be blow up the ship and escape. It may be kill the android. It may be collect some X amount of things and then do that. So it will change. So it's not really scripted as you might think that it is. But for a mass marketing kind of game, little older game, playing it for the first time, it was pretty good. Get a B. Creature Caravan. This game I'm giving a B-, and it is falling. Played this at the beginning of the year. I don't really know why. The game is really cool. You're kind of in a weird wagon train manifest destiny, but it's like there's like dinosaurs that are like carrying your wagon train, and there's like frogs that talk to you. It's like this crazy, wacky, Wild West alternate universe sort of twist. And you're going across the land, and you're taking your wagon to the city at the end of the map, but you won't always get there. But you get points for how far you get points for the people you pick up on the way, you get points for killing like these fire zombies that are out there, you get points for visiting like locations, etc., etc. I think I have to play this game again. I still have it in my collection, but it's definitely teetering. When I look at it, I don't feel the need to play it or to try it again. But I probably should force myself to do it because there's a lot of great things about that game. So Creature Caravan, B-. Hopefully you can get yourself back up. Number 8, Star Trek Captain's Chair. Oh my. Sometimes a game comes along that changes everything and reinvigorates you. And this is this game for me. This game is getting an A+ for me right now, and I've only played it solo. I would like to play it 2-player, but this is a deck building game that is not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of things going on, but man, for just theme alone, this is probably the best Star Trek game out there. It does kind of do that thing where it will mix like universes, like you can have cards from like Next Generation and the new Discovery and TOS and all that stuff. And usually I don't like that kind of thing when mixing everything, but the way this one works is so good. You choose a captain. You're gonna be like a Romulan, Sela, or the Klingons, or Picard, or whatever. And your deck is already thematic to your captain. You're just adding to it. And I mean, there's crazy things like even like V'ger is in there, or Shakari from Star Trek V. They just found a lot of clever ways to add so many Star Trek-y nerdy things in there, and I love Star Trek, and this is Star Trek in a box. So A+. All right, next one is going to be Massive Darkness 2. I had this game for over a year before I was even actually able to play it with somebody. Scott and I broke it out, and we both really didn't like it. So I'm giving it a D+. Dungeon crawls have sort of hit a wall for me, I think. I thought this one could potentially be something different. And the way, the extremely asymmetrical ways the characters work, that's the best part of the game. But when you get down to the game, it's really just a dice rolling random fest that's kind of sluggish. And there's plastic everywhere. I just can't do it anymore. So Massive Darkness 2, a very disappointing D+. I understand that there are merits and there are fans of this game. Sure. I don't need to play it ever again, unfortunately. Kind of a disappointment. Sorry. All right, next one is a classic for me, and this is Blood Rage. Blood Rage, just, man, it's like 10 years old at this point. That's crazy. It's the quintessential Viking game. You're drafting. There's no dice, but you're controlling. You're recruiting monsters, doing all these great things in a pretty quick amount of time that is not overwrought or random really in any way. Man, the game is so good. I've loved it for so long. I did back the second edition, and we will be reviewing that when it comes. Curious about it, but man, Blood Rage as it is, hey, can't go wrong. All right, so this one is speaking of my son, playing games with my son, this is Exploding Kittens, the board game. Exploding Kittens is, you know, that and like Cards Against Humanity, those kinds of things have always been kind of there. Kind of, yeah, it's funny. And this was kind of one of those ones. I kind of got it on a whim, but my son saw it on the shelf and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Exploding Kittens! I know Exploding Kittens from YouTube." And blah blah. So I was like, "All right, we'll play it." We played it, and you know what? It wasn't too bad. I give it a B-. Is it something I love and would need to play all the time? No, but you do make choices. It's wacky. It uses that pop-up book mechanism from an old game called Key to the Kingdom, so the board will actually change and all your pieces stay in one spot. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, you know what? I didn't hate it. So Exploding Kittens, you're okay. This one I've loved. It's the first moment I played it. This is Kinfire Delve, and I actually like this more than Kinfire Chronicles. Give this one an A. This is a co-op, card-driven, I guess you would call it dungeon crawl, with like but you're also like a puzzle-solving sort of game, with character powers and just cool things happening. If check out our review, and if this game looks interesting or fun to you at all, I pretty much guarantee you'll like it. Super cheap too. I mean, you can just get one of the one-off boxes for $20-25 at this point, see if you even like it. But man, for a co-op quick sort of dungeon crawly thing, this is the one. Number 14, I believe. This is a game I bought randomly at my friendly local game store. They have a kind of a used section. And I saw this game and I was like, and I read the back of it, I was like, seems kind of cool. I wonder if I'll like this. Just get it and try it. I never heard of it. It's called The Final Flictier. And this is basically a game where it's like, what if Twilight Imperium, games like a Twilight Imperium or like Scythe were distilled down to their essences, and then you're also like flicking dice across the board, traveling like across the solar system or the galaxy. And I thought it worked really good. This is a game I'm giving a B+, and with a chance to actually go higher. There's a bunch of cool different factions in there. I don't know why this game didn't get more love from the Kickstarter from like 5 or 6 years ago. But I'm really glad I got a copy of it and that I know about it. If you have a chance to check it out and that sounds interesting at all to you, I mean, it's probably on the level of like Settlers of Catan or like Ticket to Ride almost even kind of thing. Maybe a little more than Ticket to Ride, but not much. I would give it a shot. I feel like this is kind of an underrated game. So Final Flictier, B+, out of nowhere. All right, the next one is one that Scott got me from Japan. He got me the Japanese version. It is called Nana, or in America, Trio. I'm going to give this game a good solid B. I like little card games like this to have on hand to just play with anybody, anywhere, and you have a lot of different options. This is a good one, especially for those who are familiar and enjoy Go Fish. This is kind of a variation on that, but much more sophisticated and more fun. So yeah, Trio, Nana, B. Good game. All right, wow, okay. This next one gets kind of a free pass. This is Dune War for Arrakis. And I have this at an A-, but I do have it falling. And that is for the simple reason that it is huge and really, really hard to table. Now, my understanding is that the game it's based on, which is the Lord of the Rings version, War of the Ring, is even more involved, giant, and complex. And this one is already right at that line for me. But it gets a big pass because I love Dune. I've always loved Dune. I've loved Dune since I was a teenager. It's my favorite IP. And it is so Dune. If you've seen the movies, this game basically encapsulates the second movie. Where, spoiler, House Atreides has already fallen and Paul and his mom are out in the desert. And you're doing this like war part of control over House Harkonnen. And the map is huge, and the combat is really, even though it is like a dice rolly, bing, bing, bing kind of combat, it works great. There's a ton of rules, but it's not that bad for how big that game is, but at the same time it is. You will know if you're interested in this or not, but this one gets kind of a pass because I don't really get to play it that often. But when I have played it, it's great. And the solo mode is actually really good. There's a bunch of videos now for it. Hello. Sure thing. Hey, small children came in and invaded my space, so now I'm here. Maybe I'll be back to the old space in a minute. Who knows? Moving on. Next game is going to be a brand new one. I've only played the solo mode 4, but I am absolutely loving this game. It's called Cthulhu Dark Providence. It's based on the old game, which I did not play, called A Study in Emerald. But this, my understanding is it cleans it up, makes some of the mechanisms a little cooler, and it is very cool. It's set in the same universe, I think, as Cthulhu Death May Die. But the game is really wacky, kind of weird, but it's definitely in, I would say, in the same realm as Dune Imperium. So if you like that game, give this one a shot if you can. It's really not that expensive either. But wow, this one's getting a solid A from me, and I can't wait to play it with other people and show them because I know I'm going to love it. It's not going to be for everybody. It is a weird game, but man, it's so cool. Oh, Dice Throne Outcast. Check out our link below. Scott and I just did a review of this. I'm giving this one an A-. I like Dice Throne. This set though I liked very much. This is probably my favorite of all the sets. If I were just to get one set and start off, I would do this one. The 4 characters that come in it are kind of trick-or-treaty, Halloween-y. But the way they work is just super cool. Each one is super fun and super streamlined too. I think they learned a lot throughout the years of designing different characters. But man, this one looks great, plays great, and it really solidified for me that this game is probably best as just a head-to-head 1v1, which is totally fine. So yeah, Dice Throne Outcasts, excellent set. Next one is going to be, wow, we've got 3 great games in a row here. And this one, man, this is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking card game, which I'm giving an A+. You are basically playing I wasn't much of a trick taker, but I'm becoming more of one as time goes on, and this is just so solid. You're trick taking basically through the first book. They're going to have the other books come out as well, but this is just the Fellowship of the Ring. But you're playing through the novel with a co-op trick-taking mechanism where the objectives and the conditions and the challenges will change, and it is so fun. This is the kind of game where you can get through and just be done and not play it anymore. I would play this a bunch of times with a bunch of different groups. I just think that the mechanisms and the fun factor of it is at a level for me that I just don't think it will get old. And I cannot wait for the new sets. Two Towers, you better believe we're going to be reviewing that one ASAP. Well, moving up here must have just spawned all the great games. This is another one called Ascension Tactics. And this is another A+ game for me. Man, this game works great solo. It works great head-to-head. It has all these different scenarios. I haven't even played the other scenarios. I've just played the first one. And it's fantastic. The different factions you get, the different characters you get. There's a ton that just come in the box. I asked for Ascension's Tactics Inferno for Christmas from my wife. Come on, baby. Daddy needs a new Ascension Tactics, which I cannot wait to get my hands on if she got it for me. Or maybe Santa. But, man, if you like Magic the Gathering kind of thing, if you like deck building and this head-to-head quick skirmish that's... there's no dice involved, but it's so neat how they made it so balanced with having all these crazy characters, all crazy different powers. And it's so streamlined and simple to play. It's kind of also in the vein of like Summoner Wars, I would say, but this is sort of my Summoner Wars. So Ascension Tactics A+, great game. Okay, I'm back here again. Moving on. Next one is going to be Dune House Secrets. I hated this game. This game gets a D-. It's based off of the system. I can't remember. It's going to be right here, but it's like a solving murder mystery activity set in like the Dune universe. And it just was like listening to somebody read, and then maybe you make a few decisions about where the story kind of goes. It's almost like a choose your own adventure kind of thing, but that's really all that it really boils down to. And I hated it. I couldn't wait to get done with each scenario, and we got about probably halfway through the game and we just called it, and nobody was sad. So Dune House Secrets, even though you're Dune, that's why you get a D- and not an F. You just barely scraped by. All right, this next one is a party game Casey introduced me to. It's really, really grown on me. This is called Phantom Inc. I'm giving it a B+, and it's moving up. This is such a great party game. It's basically you have two teams, and one person on each team is the ghost, and they're giving you clues about a word they want you to guess to the other team, but you're writing just like one letter at a time, so it's supposed to be this like, we're communicating with the ghost. That stuff doesn't really come through too much. It does a little bit, but the team participation in the competition from team to team of being like, oh, we're figuring this out together, it just works out really, really good. And it's a game anybody can play, from little Timmy to grandma. Just be conscious of who you're picking as your ghost. But man, great game. Next one is a game we kind of got on a whim. And this is called This Game is Killer. The Alien on Board edition. I know there's a few other ones, or just maybe just one other one right now. I don't know. I gave this one a D+. This game, in theory, is much cooler than it actually works. So it's supposed to be kind of like Alien Fate of the Nostromo. You're on a ship, but this one, instead of working together, you're on a ship and an alien is loose. But this one, instead of working together, you are trying to just save your own skin. And you're just like determining where on the ship you're going to go, and the alien will appear and kill you there. And if you were in the wrong place, and kill you. But then you can also activate these other special abilities, and you're choosing which card to use for which one. It worked fine, but then when we were done playing it, I was like, I don't need to play this anymore, and I don't need to keep it. So there's some fun things in there. It's wacky. It's party game-ish. But honestly, if you're gonna do something like that, you can do something. You can do better. I'm sorry. This is one that I've loved for a long time. I got the new edition. And this is Ethnos, and I'm giving this game an A-. I hadn't played it for a while, and the new edition is probably superior to the old one. I know that it got a lot of grief. The old one got a lot of grief for the art and the look of the map and everything. Well, all that has changed now. And they were like, it's not accessible because it's just so like fantasy-ish monsters and races and all that stuff. So they change it to like anthropomorphic kind of things now. I'm not as much a big of a fan of that, but I could see it having a wider appeal that way. That's why I give it kudos. But the gameplay is so solid. Ethnos is definitely on that Ticket to Ride level of like area control with neat little powers that is like family weight, but gamers can also just like gamify the heck out of it. Great game. I'm glad this game got reprinted and redistributed, and I will always be a fan of this game. Ethnos, A-. This game is called, this is a weird game for me. This is called Snapship Tactics. And when I first started the hobby, like 12 years ago or whatever, I really got into X-Wing, as I'm sure a lot of you did too. The miniatures game. And that is a tabletop, measuring, dice rolly, taking forever dogfight game. I saw this game at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, what the heck is this? And so I looked it up, and basically what it is a trimmed down version of X-Wing that you could play on teams and like solo as well. And I was like, that sounds really cool. And I really liked it. And it also uses this toy. It's it's a system based on these already existing toys called Snapships that are like Lego-ish. But that's part of the game too, where you can pre-build your ship using the actual like Lego parts to put onto your ship. So like if you put a missile launcher on there, well, there's a missile launcher card that relates to that missile launcher. Really cool. And way easier to play and less fiddly, way less fiddly than X-Wing. It's just hard to get out and get played because it's like, who is this really for? It's like, I think it's cool, but it's like some random new person. Are they going to think it's cool, or you already have to be into it? There's kind of a community for this game, I understand, but I haven't met anybody out in the wild from that community. And I don't want to get super into it, but as a casual game, it's really fun. So I gave it a B-. It is falling. Need to play it more. Plus, the ships look really cool. Here's a game I saw, and I only played the digital edition of, which is the exact same edition as the card one, and I considered getting it, but I thought, I don't really love it as much to get the physical edition. This is a game called Yomi 2. I'm giving this game a B, and it is falling. I never played Yomi 1, but I heard a lot about it. And basically what this game tries to do is it makes like a tournament fighter, like a Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter kind of game, and turn it into like a card game. With, you block that kick, and then I do an ultimate ability, and then you do a combo back at me, that kind of stuff. Works really cool. It's a little overwrought. Thank God for the app, because if I had to play this game without the computer kind of doing it for me, I'm sure I would screw up the rules left and right. But as it is on the app, it's very good. And I would play this game with anybody if they had a copy whenever they wanted to and they understood the order of operations. So yeah, Yomi 2, you're solid. This is a game I have really liked for a long time. Casey absolutely loves this game. It's called Love Letter. My favorite is probably the Star Wars one, where you could be like the Hutts or like the Rebels, I think. But I'd play any one of these. I give this game a solid B. I don't own it, but I'll play it anytime, anywhere. Super simple, easy. Love Letter, can't go wrong. Moving right along, this is a game called Dungeon Mayhem. This is Dungeons and Dragons game. Scott really, and his son also really like this game too. This is basically, you get a deck of cards of a character from Dungeons and Dragons. Gelatinous Cube is in there. Orc, warrior, lady, the polymorph thing. It looks like a treasure. The name's escaping me right now. You know what I'm talking about. bunch of different Dungeons and Dragons sort of stereotypical tropes are in there. And you play, and it's a take that game of ha ha ha, I hit you, I'm going to try to be the last one standing. For what it is, it's great. It's a B+, very thematic. My son also loves it. Great family game, great with kids. This one was my number one, although that may change. But it's still way up there. This is Skytear Horde. I give this game an A+. I've only ever played this game solo. You can play co-op 2 players. I don't really feel the need to, but if, you know, somebody wants to learn, I will happily do that. But what this is, it's almost kind of touts itself as a Magic the Gathering co-op solo tower defense / lane defender combat kind of game. And wow, all the different factions you can be, every deck plays way different. Every enemy you play plays way different. And there is a ton of things for this game. And the great thing about this game too is each game is like 20, 25 minutes. And also the great thing about this game is that no matter how, in what sort of dire straits situation you're in, you can usually pull off something to win or come very, very close to winning. There have been situations I'm like, I can't, I'm dead. And then I just do the right thing at the right time and boom, come out ahead. That is so cool. And that's with every faction, because every faction is like completely different. So the way you pull off a win is going to be different. Against the different enemies that are way different too. So this game is all about variety and straightforwardness, which I love. Skytear Horde. Check it out if any of that sounds cool to you. This is a game that was also my top 10. Check the link below. That is my choice of dungeon crawler because it's such a different kind of dungeon crawler. This is called Forgotten Depths. I have both the expansions for it, and there's one I don't have, but it's just like stories, so I'm not doing that. This is a dungeon crawler from 1 to 3 players. I hate to say this, it's almost like a cozy kind of dungeon crawler. But you are what's cool about this game is you're simultaneously building the dungeon with these like Tetris looking cards while going through it and encountering things and getting treasure and blah 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 blah. But it is so streamlined and straightforward. There's like one miniature that represents your party and the rest is card play. Thank God. Because you'll encounter a monster, you'll fight, do what happens, move on. And there's also different ways to open like secret passages and go on like side quests. And there's like when the expansions, there's an alternate way to win where instead of killing the monster at the end of the dungeon, you blow up, you nuke the whole dungeon and you just got to get out in time. A very underrated game. I got this one on a whim. I saw it at Second and Charles used. And I was like, what is this? And then I went to lunch, did some research, and I was like, this game seems freaking awesome. And you know what? It was. You did it again, Eric. You did it again. All right, this next one is kind of a joke. This is also in our Thrift Thrash video, and this by far was the worst game we played. This is called Thrive Time for Teens. This game gets an F. This game is from the dark ages of the early 2000s, designed by a lady who is like partners or something with the Hey, Who Moved My Cheese, Robert Kiyosaki guy. And this game is just one giant con job. It's supposed to teach teens how to like manage their finances, but it is all it is you flip a card and the game tells you what to do and you do that. There's nothing in this game. This game is terrible for learning, terrible for fun. We had a miserable time playing it, but it made for some great entertainment. Check out our Thrift Thrash video below. Thrive Time for Teens, you are a piece of All right, and the next one is going to be Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. This is a gigantic Lord of the Rings game using the pandemic system. Pretty new. I gave this one a D+. Now, I understand this game has a lot of fans, and there's a lot to love about this game. I just didn't think it was for me. It's sort of too big for me. I appreciate what it did with the pandemic system, putting new twists and turns on that. All those games, the water one, the Cthulhu one, the Rome one, I've tried them all, even Iberia, which is the best one, but even that one I end up getting rid of. You just can't, just base Pandemic is just where that game works the best. And all these other ones have just failed for me, and this is no exception. Hi.
Alright everyone, it's the next day, and in case you're wondering, the Minecraft backpack situation has been resolved. So, your sleep doesn't have to be disturbed anymore. I've been thinking about, for the last 24 hours, the fate of the Fellowship, what I was saying about it, and I think I need to change right now. I'm gonna bump up my grade. I'm gonna bump it up to a C. Because I do think there is a lot to like in that game, and I think I was being maybe a little unfair to it, but I still don't really need to play it ever again. But thinking about it, there are a lot of moments in that game where they feel really Lord of the Rings. Like you're building up a gigantic battle, and then it goes off, and then you have to play the two different characters, and one character you'll choose will get 4 actions, and the other gets 1 action, and it kind of feels like cutscenes in the movie, which is really cool. I respect the game. Okay, you get to see. I think that's fair.
All right, just had brunch. Fantastic. I was able to sneak off. I'm just gonna do one of these real quick. This one is Unstoppable. It's a solo-only game by John D. Clare, if I'm not mistaken. And he also did Mystic Vale, and this is a card crafter. It's not really technically really a deck builder, although it has deck building qualities, but you're creating the cards as you draft them. Really cool mechanism. The game is at a B- though. It probably started off at an A or something. It's just been slowly dropping throughout the year, and I played this earlier in the year. And again, I don't really know why. I look at it and I don't really feel the need to go back to it. That's kind of a problem. So I think I'm gonna try it again next year. If it doesn't hook me, it's gonna be gone, I think. So Unstoppable, you're getting stopped just a little bit.
Alrighty, well, this is a game I've loved for a long time, and this is pretty much modern classic now. This is Dune Imperium. Love this game, love it at all player counts. My favorite Dune game. This game's an A+. Like I said, Cthulhu Dark Providence has some similarities to this, so I really like that game, but this is the OG. It's just such a great game. Haven't played it, tried it out, you like worker placement, you just can't go wrong. This is a game I played just for the first time this year. Neat little game. It's called Flip 7. This one I'm giving it A-. The great thing about this game is that if everybody at the table knows blackjack, understands the basic concept of blackjack, you're 80% of the way there. This is basically blackjack with special powers. Some things make you stay, some things make you hit more, some things give you extra lives, etc., etc. The big difference in this from blackjack, though, is that you don't bust if you pass a certain threshold number. You bust if the same card comes out and you already have a repeat of that card. But in the deck, there's numbers 1 through 12, and each number has that many cards in the deck. So it's 12 12s, 11 11, 10 10s, etc., etc. So 12 is great, it's the highest number, but it's also the most common card in the deck. Just a great idea. Anybody can play it. A-, moving up. Okay, this was a controversial one. This was Vantage. A lot of people like this game, I'm finding out. We did not. And I thought I really would. I was part of the newsletter for when I heard this game was coming out. I thought it looked cool. I was like, oh, it's co-op. It's got this little choose your own adventure, Tales of Arabian Nights-ish kind of thing. And the whole thing just didn't work for me. Which I am very sad about. Check out our Vantage review. We didn't like it. We'll give you the reasons why. A lot of people like it, but a lot of people are also on our side. Well, talk about a classic. This is Catan, or Settlers of Catan if you're old and haggard. But I had a chance to play this game with some non-gamer friends of mine from work. One of them had a copy. He was like, I've had this copy forever. I don't know how to play it. And I was like, well, I'll teach you. We'll get together, and we'll hang out, and we'll play it. And I taught them. They had a great time. I didn't mean to destroy them, but I did. But that's just the way it goes. You know, I understood dice probabilities, and they hadn't really thought about that kind of stuff before in a board game sense, and they never played a Euro game, so whatever. But, man, the game is still just really solid. I mean, is it my favorite game? No. Do I own it? No. Do I need to? No. But it's a classic for a reason. Catan, solid B. Okay, and we have, Davy Jones' Locker. The Kraken Wakes. I can't imagine many of you have heard too much about this game. I got it at Second and Charles. It was on sale, and I've always been looking for that great pirate game, ooh, this is the pirate game. And I've tried a couple, and I was like, you know what, this one kind of looks kind of cool. It had 2 phases. It had like a buying, sailing phase, and then a boss fight kind of phase. If I remember correctly, it's co-op-ish? I can't really remember. The big problem with this game, it is so random and dice rolly. I mean, the combat at the end took forever, and all you're doing is roll for defense, roll. And it just didn't work. I gave this game a D. They had an expansion out there, too, with, like, ghost ships or something. Maybe that helped it. I don't know, but after playing it a couple of times, I didn't need to do it anymore. This game I played for the first time this year, and it has also been out for a while. It's classic. Heat, Pedal to the Metal. Great game. Hard to grasp at first because I don't think I played anything quite like it that worked that way. And if you played it, you know what I mean. If you haven't, you can go check it out. But basically, it's a deck building, which I love, racing kind of game, where you can push your car a little bit harder, but you're getting heat for doing that, which are basically blank cards. But all the different maps, they're from all over the world, a lot of replayability. There's like a drafting special abilities mode, like, cool, like customizing your car kind of thing. Great game. Own it. Not getting rid of it. Solid B. Well, this one kind of makes me sad. This is Unmatched. Now, this game I have loved. If I had done my top 10 list probably a year and a half ago, it would have been probably top 5. It's now a B plus for me, and it is falling, and I don't really know why. I think I was getting everything, and then I kind of stopped when The Witcher came out, and I don't feel the need to get any more right now. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-op one is out, and every time I've thought about getting it, I'm just like, man, I don't want to pay that much. I'm not going to play it, and do I really like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that much? It's losing its cachet a tiny bit with me, and I don't know why. Maybe I need to go back to it. I love the co-op version, the Tales to Amaze. That was a really, really fresh way to play it. And the head-to-head is great, too. I don't know. Unmatched, you're a great game, but you're slipping a little bit. Oh, this one's interesting. So this year, I was at Target, and my son was looking at the Pokemon trading card area, which is usually completely cleaned out. And they had Lorcana there too. And they had which I never knew they had, was this box of you could play Lorcana co-op or solo. So I decided, you know what? I haven't tried this game. I've heard a lot about it. I'm going to get this solo one and try it out. Lorcana, if you don't know, is basically a Magic the Gathering that is in the Disney universe. So, I mean, nothing is off limits. And so it's very similar to Magic the Gathering. And it was cool to be able to do that solo. And you could, deck build a little bit, tried it, but it didn't come with very much. So then I got a few booster packs, and then I was like, oh my god, Eric, you're getting into this. You're gonna go to like tournaments. And then I was like, what are you doing? You spent all these years in Magic the Gathering regretting it, and now you're about to do this. So then I stopped. So I'm giving this one a C+. Just because it is a collectible card game, and I don't want to get hooked into it. But the game itself is very solid. I have a few cards now. You can make decks very easily with this, even easier than Magic the Gathering. And I'm happy with that, and maybe I'll play with my boys if they want to when they're a little older. But as of right now, I'm good. I'm glad that I know about it and how to play it, though. Oh, this game's classic, kind of stupid. This is the potato chips of gaming. This is called Impact Battle of Elements. This game has also been known as Strike. There's a Harry Potter version of this game, and basically what you're doing is throwing dice into a bowl or like an arena or part of the box or whatever, and you're trying to match symbols, and that's it. It is super quick and easy. Impact, that version has like special abilities where like the different sides are different elements and they trigger different things. You don't even have to do that. This is B+. I love this game. I'm never getting rid of it. So simple and stupid, but sometimes that's what you need in life. This one's interesting. So check out down below. We had a special guest named Royce Rosewood come and visit us at the Evil Cheese Studio. And he was like, hey, I'm going to teach you guys Oath. Because I think you will all like it. And it was one of the most unique and weirdest games I've ever played. However, I did like, and well, the opinion you'll see in the review, opinions were all over the place about this game. I was pretty solid on it. So I gave it a B+ with a chance of going up. It's the kind of game that demands you play it multiple times. If you think you're going to like it. If you play it once and you don't like it, you probably don't need to. I would be interested to try it again. Now, Royce says he's going to come back with the expansion, which cleans up some things, adds maybe a little bit, one or two things, which sounds kind of cool. So be on the lookout for that too next year, hopefully. But as of right now, Oath, B+, potential to move up. One of the weirdest games I've ever played, but hey, it was pretty darn good. Oh, this one is interesting. Leviathan Wilds. When I first saw this game, I was like, dude, oh my god, Shadows of the Colossus. I love that game, and the board game version of it sounds so cool. And it came in the book, and that's like was all the different monsters that you could face off against, and it was the board, super quick and easy. And then I played it, and then I was like, okay. And then I played it again. I was like, okay. I played it, okay. And everything kind of has gone like that. It's a really solid co-op game. I'm giving it a B- though, and it is falling. For some reason, these kinds of co-op games where they are like, it's hard to explain. Subterra, if you guys are familiar with that game, is like this too, where it's like you take a turn and you do your thing and you move your guy around, like these, like, most of the game is just like moving pieces, and that's really it. As a co-op, they don't really work for me, and I don't know why. This is a really solid game design. It's dropping though for me. I look at it on the shelf and I'm like, I really want to like you, and maybe I will, and maybe I just need one or two more great plays, but it hurts. It hurts my soul that it hasn't quite hit it for me. So, Leviathan Wilds. Next one, this is a Kickstarter I got. It was very reasonably priced Kickstarter. Not a ton of stuff. And this is called The Last Command. Sean Connery's Last Command. This is a deck builder. I would say similar to it's just a 2-player head-to-head deck builder. That you're head-to-head, and similar to Star Realms, I would say, but instead of it being like a bunch of crazy ships in it, you're just in one capital ship, and you're like fighting each other next to each other, broadsides kind of style. Cool idea. And the different cards you play go from the different areas. It's like, oh, these are engineering cards. These are shield cards, whatever. Not a ton of content in there, but really, really solid game. So I'm giving it a B. Enjoy it. Quick, easy, pretty easy to play. Simple, looks great. Last Command. The most classic, I hesitate to call it a party game, but it's really more of a co-op activity. But man, it just works. And it's called Just One. And give this game an A-. You could break this out with anybody from little Timmy to grandma. You're basically, the big hook of the game is one person is trying to guess a word that they have in front of them that they can't see. Everybody has a little placards that they're writing one word clue down on. The only trick of the game is that if there's any repeat words before the guessing player sees everything, those words are flipped face down and they do not get to see that word at all. So you have to think deep. Okay, how do I communicate this word to this person? But am I go too deep, I won't be understood. And if I go too broad, am I going to copy somebody else? That is such a great idea. It feels like, how did nobody come up with this game 40 years ago? But man, Just One, just solid. All right, we're in the home stretch here. Just a few more. This next one is going to be Unsettled. I give this game an A-. A fantastic survival co-op game where you and your friends are astronauts or something, and you've crash landed on a planet, and you have to learn what objective that you need to complete and to survive, and then usually get back to the ship and get off the planet. The neat thing about this game is very different than other co-ops where the game doesn't really take a turn against you. It's like one player will take a turn, and then they'll take a turn, and they'll take a turn. But the evil part of the game, the AI, doesn't really exist. But how the different planets are set up will continue to work against you over time. You're always battling the clock. This is a really, really cool game. Not too bad as far as complexity and stuff goes, but it is more on the upper side. But man, great game. Unsettled, A-. Next one is going to be Freedom 5. I wrote here B-. I'm going to take that down to a C+, and it is falling. One of my favorite games when I first started the hobby was Defenders of the Realm, which is a kind of a fantasy twist on pandemics, on the pandemic system, with dice rolling, fighting, and just like a huge board and map. But it was a lot pandemic. So is this. But this is more of a generic-y sort of superhero skin where you're defending a city and stuff like that. The game is really, really cool. The big problem with this game is that it is a kind of a campaign game, sort of. You could do the scenarios as one-offs, but they do sort of build off each other. And it's just hard to get to the table like that. It's hard to have a consistent group that will do it. And it just doesn't really feel like it needed to be a campaign kind of game. Maybe better as just a one-off thing like Defenders of the Realm used to be. But it cleaned up a lot of stuff from that game. I don't know if it's going to last much longer in my collection, to be honest. Next one is going to be the top game of ours in our Thrift Thrash video, which is going to be Rodney Dangerfield's No Respect. Kind of a weird game where you are picking up numbers from like a pot in the middle, and you're trying to get them in order, either lowest to highest or highest to lowest. I can't remember. And that's pretty much the game. What that has to do with Rodney Dangerfield, nobody really knows. There's like a few quotes in the box of his in there, and I guess that was enough. You know, he got his check. But the game was okay. You know, I gave it a B-. And it was a lot better than we thought it was going to be. And it was a lot better than a lot of games out in the world today. And this is from like the 80s. So, yeah, Rodney Dangerfield's No Respect. I mean, like I said in the video, you could do a lot worse. Next one is going to be, this is a strange game. It's called Mythwind. I'm giving it a B-, and it is falling. The idea of this game is very unique, very cool. It tries to replicate one of those like apps or games that are like the farming or like the traders selling apps and they don't have an end. And this game does not have an end. You could just infinitely play this game. You're like building a town, and you are interacting with like these sprites that are in this nearby forest, and the game is largely, if you're playing with other people, solo, like, and you don't interact much. There is an expansion. I think it adds a little bit more to the interactions, but this is teetering. The hardest thing about this game is that for what it is, it's not complicated, but at the same time, you have to go back and remember rules. And each role, there's like different roles. There's like an innkeeper, and there's like a merchant and a farmer, blah, blah, blah. They all work differently. And so you have to kind of relearn. You have like your own rule book to learn that one. That makes it harder to get to the table because they're that different. I don't know how long this game is going to be around. So, Mythwind, you're cool. You look cool. Two more. This is kind of a stupid game in the realm of Impact Battle of Elements. This is called Wonder Bowling. This is a game from Japan, and it's just stupid fun. You are setting up the pins on top of the actual box, and you have a stick with a ball at the end. One is a big ball, one is a small ball, so you're like choosing which bowling ball you want to use. And you're hitting the side of the box to knock pins over. But a strike in this game is not knocking all the pins over, because that would just be super easy. You knock down all the pins but one. And you have certain numbers that you pick randomly. They're like objectives you want to achieve, which is like, oh, knock down 5 pins and then knock down 8 pins, or a strike will fulfill any objective, is basically what it is. Stupid game, love it. Wonder Bowling. Last game, here we go. This is X-Men Dice Throne. Scott got this fulfilled from his Kickstarter backing this year, and we played it. There's really 2 things in here. The characters in it are very cool. They're pretty thematic for what they do. And then there is a co-op missions version of this too, where you sort of can team up and play against an AI. I gave this one a B. The characters are solid. They're pretty thematic. The co-op version is okay. And as I said earlier with our Dice Throne Outcasts review, that one really solidified for me that the game is best as a 1v1. So I'll still play the missions and the co-op version, but in the back of my mind, I'll always be going, this is better 2-player. Wow. So that is it. Those are all the games I played in 2025. And you know what? It was a darn good year. I just want to give a real quick thank you to the over 100 of you that have already subscribed to our channel. It really means a lot to us. We're having a great time making content. Let's have a great 2026. We'll be reviewing more games. We'll be doing more stupid stuff, and I appreciate anybody and everybody who wants to watch us do that. So until next time, this is Eric from Evil Cheese. Have a great 2026.